Huwag natin kalimutan na bukas sa Monday, July 13, tuloy na naman po ang 3 days impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte. Diyan po sa Senado. And this time around, itong week po, we are going to see tatlong witnesses are coming from the prosecution team. No? They will be presented itong tatlong witnesses sa ano nila po, yon na impeachment or article of impeachment nila, yon na great threat against Inday Sara Duterte, wherein yon itong great threat po, it involves the statement made by Vice President Inday Sara Duterte before, last year po, or last November 24 yata yon, or November 2024, wherein he said kung mayroon na mangyari sa kanya, then he already contracted a person to kill President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos, and former Speaker Martin Romualdez, Congressman Martin Romualdez po. So, Monday, bukas po. Don't forget, at 2 p.m., stay tuned tayo dito po sa Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico po, because I'm going live again bukas. In the meantime, ito po, si Nico Fabian. Once again, would like to invite each and every one of you again dito sa programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Today is June 12 po, Sunday. And medyo late tayo ngayon dahil may mga obligasyon tayo. And of course, hindi lang obligasyon sa Panginoon natin, no? But also obligasyon tayo po sa mga sa pamilya natin, sa misis natin, sa anak natin po. Especially ako, nandito nagbakasyon ngayon ang second daughter ko po, no? Si Nikki, and she will be staying with us dito sa bahay sa Kota Kinabalu po for the most is at least mga 2 weeks lang po. Then she will be going back to KL, and then from KL she will be going back to her work, no? Abroad. So just trying to make use full use of her presence dito po sa amin. So, 1,000 apology. Medyo late tayo ngayon, no? Late tayo nag-start ang ang programa natin. But anyway, okay lang, no? It's better late than never. So, today, I'm going to share with you some video clips, no? Regarding the scheduled impeachment or resumption of the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte, and that will be tomorrow, starting tomorrow po. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 2 p.m. So, sige na po. Let's start ang ang programa natin. And before giving you itong sabihin natin ang mga prepared video clips para sa inyong lahat po or dito para sa programa natin po. First of all, I would like to inform you or read you another news article, no? Lumabas ito today po, Sunday, no? Wherein it involves a statement made by Senator Judge Ping Lacson po regarding itong issue ng impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. So tomorrow also, hopefully we'll be able to see some updates regarding itong threshold, no? Ang threshold ng 2/3 or 16 votes to convict Inday Sara Duterte and 9 votes to acquit Inday Sara Duterte. So, sabi ni Ping Lacson, Senator Ping Lacson po, sana lang itong threshold issue will be resolved as soon as possible or early rather than continue itong impeachment trial, and at the end of the day, they will have some problems dito po sa threshold. Ano ba talaga po? 16 ba? Or it will be less than 16? Because the Constitution says vote must come from all the 24. All the 24, sabihin natin, elected senators dyan po sa Pilipinas. No? And others were saying, hindi daw dapat include ang mga senators who are now behind bars or facing ang plunder cases sa kanila po, and of which they cannot attend ang hearing, no? Ang hearing po. So because of their non-physical appearance during the entire hearing procedure of Inday Sara Duterte. So sana daw po, they will not be qualified to participate when it comes to voting at the end of the trial. So, let's see what will happen. But remember, during the first day of the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte, si Senator Judge, who is now the presiding officer of the impeachment trial, si Senator Judge Chis Escudero, also raised that issue, no? Raised that issue on the threshold, and he said, based on his understanding, he still recognized ang 2/3 or 16 signatures or 16 senators to convict Inday Sara Duterte or to convict the impeachable officer in question. And nobody objected, but some people were saying, no, nobody objected because para matuloy na talaga ang impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte instead of devoting more time on the issue, no? That issue can come in later on. Later on, ang importante dyan is to start the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte. Let's see po what will happen. Anyway, let me read you this, sabihin natin balita dyan po sa Pilipinas. Today ito po, made by Senator Judge Ping Lacson po. The heading of the story is Lacson hopes voting threshold issue settled early. Senator Judge Ping Lacson on Sunday or today po said he hopes the issue of the voting threshold required to convict Vice President Sara Duterte in her impeachment trial would be settled early to avoid complications later in the proceedings. Lacson said he would welcome any petition before the Supreme Court questioning the 16 affirmative votes required to convict Duterte, saying it would be better for the issue to be resolved while the trial is still underway. It would be better if someone files a petition before the Supreme Court so the issue can be resolved early. It would be very awkward if we had already made a ruling before we decide on a conviction or acquittal. The voting threshold should already be clear to us. Sabi ni Senator Judge Ping Lacson today. After being elected the presiding officer of the impeachment court, Senator President Francis Escudero, or Senate President Francis Escudero, ano ba ito? Senate President ba siya? No. Presiding officer lang siya eh. Francis Escudero said the 1987 Constitution requires the concurrence of 2/3 of all members of the Senate or 16 votes to convict an impeachable official. Escudero also said his pronouncement constitutes a formal ruling of the impeachment court subject to any legal remedies available to the parties. Despite the welcoming a possible court challenge, Lacson said he agrees with Escudero's interpretation that 16 votes are needed for a conviction. I suppose the requirement of 16 votes to constitute the 2/3 of the 24 senators. Based on my consultations with lawyers, when the Constitution says all members, whether they participate or not, 2/3 is still 16. Sabi ni Ping Lacson, former Supreme Court Associate Justice Adolfo Ascuna earlier said he does not believe it is necessary at this stage to bring the voting threshold issue before the High Court. Sabi na po, I don't think it is necessary yet to bring this to the Supreme Court because the Senate has not yet voted. This is merely the chair's position on the voting threshold which may still be appealed to the impeachment court. Hindi pa daw kailangan kasi hindi pa nag-decide ang korte po, no? Tungkol sa threshold yon 2/3 or 16 senators to convict ang impeachable officer, and that is Inday Sara Duterte. So, karamihan din mga Filipinos dito sa Malaysia, dito sa Sabah po, we agree na kung pwede, i-settle na muna tayo po yon threshold po para pagdating sa votation na po, kung mag-impeach ba o hindi mag-impeach sa impeachable officer, which is Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, wala na tayong problema po. No? But if you look at the situation now, 16 votes to convict Inday Sara Duterte, medyo mahirap yun po. No? Medyo mahirap yun po to kuha yun 16 votes. No? Yun 16 votes po. And anyway, let's see what will happen bukas po. We will see if they will raise this issue again. And another issue that we are expecting, no, to get some updates is the BIR box. BIR box po. Let's see po kung anong updates, no, tungkol sa BIR box, whether they will open it or they will not open it po. No? So, yun ang updates natin. Again, mga overseas Filipino workers, I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam to our Filipinos kababayan, kapatid, at kaibigan dyan po sa Pilipinas. Welcome na welcome kayo po. And magandang gabi sa ating lahat po. Those who are watching itong programa natin, Nico, the Real Talk with Nico. Okay, to start with, let me present to you the first video clip, no? Na I want to share with you po. And although this is a replay lang ito po, no? Replay, news article po, no? But anyway, it is talking about tomorrow's resumption of the impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte. Let's watch and listen to this video clip. Nandito po. Alright, so you will have an idea po what will happen or transpire bukas yan po sa hearing sa Senado. Hold on. Okay, nandito.
Tatlong testigong inaasahang isasalang ng prosekusyon sa pagpapatuloy po ng impeachment trial laban kay VP Sara Duterte sa Lunes.
Kabilang sa mga sasalang sa witness stand si NBI Regional Director Attorney Jeremy Noto.
Ayon kay impeachment court spokesman Reggie Tonggol, sa Lunes isasalang si Lotto para magbigay ng testimonya. Kaugnay pa rin ito ng Article 4 o yung aligasyong pinagbantaan umano ni VP Sara ang buhay ng Pangulong Marcos at ng kanyang pamilya. Sa kanya hihimay ng prosekusyon kung talagang may kinontak na assassin ng PISE para ipatupa si BBM. Ibig sabihin, kay Lotto na sa sentro kung nagkaroon ba ng assassination plot. Sa Martes naman testigo ang chief of staff ni VP Sara si Zuleika Lopez. Si Lopez ay isa sa mga kasama sa video conference ng BISE noong November 23, 2024. Kahapon nagpunta si Lopez sa Senado para alamin ang ilang housekeeping at admin matters sa paglilitis.
Sa Miyerkules naman isasalang si House Legislative Security Bureau Executive Director Captain Belinda Bello. Inaasahang sa sentro ang kanyang testimonya sa mga pangyayari na nagbigay daan para sa nasabing video conference ni VP Sara. Kabilang narito ang detention ni Lopez. Sa pagkatapos ng unang linggo ng trial, 2 araw sumalang si NBI Agent John Mark Calilum sa presentation ng prosekusyon at cross-examination ng depensa. Pero para mapabilis daw ang usad, sisikaping matapos ito pareho sa loob ng isang araw para sa bawat testigo. Narito ang pahayag ni Impeachment Court spokesperson Tonggol.
So, we expect siguro a long trial date on Monday just to try to finish the direct examination, the cross-examination, the redirect examination, and the cross-examination. However, there might be circumstances that will need to have the day extended or even continued the next day.
Sa Lunes, inaasahang mag-ahain ng formal memoranda ang depensa at prosekusyon kaugnay po sa hiling na ipasapina ang tax records ni VP Sara at ng kanyang mister. Gusto ng prosekusyon na gamitin ebidensya ang tax records para patunayan ang umunoy hindi may paliwanag na yaman ng Vice Presidente. Ayon kay Atty. Tonggol, inaasahang igigit ng mga abogado ni VP Sara na hindi pwedeng ipasapina ang tax records dahil labag ito sa tax code. Inaasahan din daw ni Tonggol na igigit ng defense team na confidential ang tax at bank records at hindi dapat idamay ang asawa ni VP Sara. Ito pong sinabi ni Atty. Tonggol.
Magkaroon ng advance na pag-aaral yung ating mga hukom senator judges doon sa mga posisyon na yon dahil medyo magiging maganda yung magiging oral arguments at discussion sa Wednesday. So gusto naman natin na makapag-participate din yung senator judges sa tamang pagpapasya kung papayagan bang ilabas yung mga subpoena na yon sa BIR at saka doon sa mga bangko.
Okay. Si Lotok from BIR expected to testify on Monday.
NBI, sir.
NBI. So,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monday.
We assume that he's going to be talking about yung
Yung kontratang assassin. Yeah.
Oo.
Di umano.
But among other things, we can also assume, I suppose, that he will also be asking about the supposed assassination plot against VP Sara. Because if you do recall, nung panahon ni NBI Director Jimmy Santiago, inibisigan din ng NBI ang supposed plot to kill VP Sara based on the complaint that she's been making na she is under threat. But we do recall that during that time, sabi ni Jimmy Santiago, yung director ng NBI noon, na nahirapan sila kasi ayaw na mag-cooperate kay VP Sara.
And siguro, dagdagan ko na lang yan po. Isa pang inaabangan next week ay yung pagdating mismo ng Chief of Staff ni VP Sara na si Atty. Sir Leyva Lopez. Kasi inaabangan kung sasabahan siya mismo ng Vice Presidente sa Senado at kung ituturing ba siyang hostile witness ng prosecution. So, siguro, paliwanag lang natin, kapag pala nagmotion at pinayagan na i-treat siya as hostile witness, ibig sabihin pwedeng magtanong na leading question sa prosecution at i-impeach ang kanyang integrity as a witness. So iba hindi ipepresenta kundi may mga tanong na hindi para sa prosecution kundi hindi presentasyon kundi parang kino-cross-examine siya. Mas umpisa pa lang.
Also, part of the discussion is whether or not pwedeng usisiin yung tax records ni VP Sara at ng kanyang asawa. Now, as
Alright, that's it. You heard. Ready na po for tomorrow's 3 days. 3 days impeachment trial of Inday Sara Duterte, wherein the prosecution team, legal team po, will be presenting 3 witnesses po. They will be questioning, and then there will be a cross-examination also from the defense team. Po. I don't know, as what we heard sa news ng GMA5, baka it might be extended, It might be extended tomorrow's hearing, Kung hindi matapos sila po, because it's they're forecasting that it will be a long trial, a long proseso po bukas sa witness, sa witness po. So, let's see po. But ang Niktok Dariotok with Nico, whatever will happen, I will make sure that we will be going live din, Live tayo po, mag-hook up tayo kung saan ba yun po, sa GMA5 ba o sa SMNI News Channel, because they will be covering live ito also po, Live din sila. So, mag-hook up na lang tayo para ang mga kababayan, kapatid at kaibigan natin, mga followers natin dito sa Niktok The Real Talk with Nico, you will be able to see live din po dito sa Niktok The Real Talk with Nico programa natin po. Bukas yan po, starting at 2 p.m. But siguro we are going to start ang live natin mga 1:30 na po. 1:30. So, pwede pa tayo mag-chika-chika po. Give some background about the hearing that we are waiting or will be waiting. Anyway, let me share with you another video clip po. Again, let's hear a reaction or statement, comments coming from, of course, I've been sharing with you itong mga posting ni Atty. Regal Oliva. Maganda yun po, mga because she's a lawyer, mga issue that she's raising po, maganda yun po. And of course, has something to do with what is going on pa po sa Senado sa impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. Let's watch and listen to this po.
And soft
Hold on, sandali ha. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen to this video clip.
and other. Before you convict a person in the court of public opinion, ask this question first. What is the context? The prosecution wants the nation to remember one sentence. I want you to remember the entire story. Paulit-ulit nilang ipinakita ang now famous clip where Vice President Sara Duterte said, kapag pinatay ako, powerful, emotional, perfect for television. But inside the impeachment court, something very different happened. The prosecution's own witness, FBI Senior Agent John Mark Calilo, admitted something that many people may have overlooked. He had no personal knowledge that any assassin was ever hired. No personal knowledge that any order was ever carried out. No first-hand knowledge that any assassination plot actually existed. His testimony authenticated the video. It did not authenticate every conclusion people wanted to draw from it. At magkaiba ang dalawang iyon. That is not technicality. That is evidence law. Then came Attorney Carlo Joaquin Narvasa. No theatrics, shouting, just questions. The kind of questions lawyers ask when they are testing whether evidence can actually survive cross-examination. His first target, the alleged victims. Nasaan ang affidavits? Did President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. execute a sworn statement saying he genuinely believed his life was in danger? Did First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos? Did former Speaker Martin Romualdez? Because if the very people allegedly threatened did not execute sworn statement for the investigation, every lawyer naturally asks, ano ba talaga ang pinapatunayan natin dito? Then Narvasa turned to Agent Calilo himself. Let's talk about expertise. The witness testified that his digital forensics training came from Axcor Interventures Company. Now, why is that important? Because Axcor is publicly known primarily as a supplier of government ICT solutions, office equipment, investigative hardware and software, and other technology products. Hindi ito kilalang Forensic Science Academy. Hindi rin ito university specializing in digital evidence. So naturally, the defense asked, how extensive was the training? How long did it last? The answer, 2 weeks. 2 weeks of training from a government technology supplier. Now, I'm not saying a 2-week training has no value. Of course it has value. But when you're asking the Senate to remove the second highest elected official of the Republic, the impeachment court is entitled to ask whether that training is enough to give expert opinions carrying enormous constitutional consequences. That is not an insult. That is exactly what cross-examination is designed to do. Then another question surfaced. Where are the affidavits of the journalists who actually witnessed that November 23 press briefing? Because in law, primary sources matter. First-hand testimony matters. Credibility matters. Weight of evidence matters. Then the defense presented something the prosecution desperately wanted the public to forget: context. The portions of the briefing involving Undersecretary Zuleika Lopez showed the atmosphere surrounding those statements, her detention, her planned transfer, and the concerns being raised by the Vice President's camp. Whether you agree with those concerns or not is almost beside the point, because context is itself evidence. Sa batas, hindi pwedeng putol-putol ang katotohanan. You cannot isolate one sentence, ignore everything that happened before it, and then ask the public to convict. Excellent politics? Perhaps.
question entirely. Then came attorney Mark Binluan. His argument was beautifully simple. The prosecution had proven that a video exists, but it had not proven that an assassination conspiracy actually existed. And without that proof, the constitutional threshold for impeachment becomes a much steeper mountain to climb. Whether you support Vice President Sara Duterte or oppose her is completely irrelevant to this legal question, because the law does not ask, who do you like? The law asks, what can you prove? The burden never shifts, and the defense never has to prove innocence. The prosecution must prove guilt, not through edited clips, not through political narratives, not through assumptions. It should be through evidence, complete evidence, reliable evidence, convincing evidence. Because every lawyer knows one timeless rule: never separate words from the circumstances that gave birth to them. Sometimes the greatest injustice is not the statement itself. Sometimes the greatest injustice is allowing context to become the first casualty. And when context dies, justice usually dies with it. Another
Alright, that's it po. We heard, or you heard it from Attorney Regal Oliva po, no? Sa issue na yan po. So, at least now you will have an idea talaga, no? What is happening dyan po sa impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, no? And let's see po, hindi pa tapos, umpisa pa lang ito. This is the second week, and let's see what will happen. But of course, a lot of people, kagaya sa amin dito po, sa Sabah din, sa Kota Kinabalu, we are expecting that there will be, just like what happened last week, no? Mayroon yun po mga, during the direct examination and cross-examination of both parties, sabihin natin ang prosecutor and the defense team po, no? Mayroon yun po mga objection, my honor, sustain, yun po. That will happen talaga tomorrow, Tuesday, and Monday. But ano ba talaga? Bakit ba mayroon mga objection, my honor? Sustain, sabi ang presiding officer. Ano ba ito talaga po? For more understanding po, nandito po, mayroon tayong dito video clip. And coming from a lawyer also po, no? During the interview dyan po sa national media natin, explaining or clarifying and making things clear sa mga publiko po when we talk about itong objections. And of course, itong mga overruled coming from the presiding officer. Ano ba talaga ito? Let's watch and listen to this video clip so that at least you will know ano talaga itong mga meaning ng objection and overruled. Let's watch and listen to this video clip po. Interview ito po ng GMA5. GMA5 ba ito? 24 oras na news po. Let's watch and listen to this video clip. Nandito na po. Let's watch and listen to this.
Anong nila, bakit to pagkabagal-bagal, and one main reason is object to ng object. Pareho naman yung prosecution at depensa. Objection, Your Honor. Oh, objection. Objection, Your Honor. Oh, no, objection. Objection. Objection.
Yung proseso ng objection or yung objection, ginagamit yan upang pigilin yung pagsagot ng isang tanong na lumalabag doon sa ating patakaran. Nagpapatagal talaga siya kahit paano sa proseso, pero dinidisenyohan kasi yun para maiwasan yung pagpasok ng mga problematic na sagot, no? O yung mga sagot na baka hindi na po-promote ng katotohanan.
Tapos, in between, papasok ang presiding officer. Sasabihin niya, sustained o overruled. Ano po yung dalawang yun? Overruled. Sustained. Overruled.
Napakahaba daw. Iisang testigo lang, pakadaming tanong. Hindi natin hinahayaan yung testigo na parang umupo na lang doon at magkwento na kung saan pumunta yung kwento at hindi natetest yung katotohanan. So yung direct examination, yun yung pagtatanong ng usually open-ended questions ng partido or panig na naghain ng witness. Pagdating naman sa cross-examination, yung purpose nun ay para butasin ng kabilang panig yung testimonya ng testigo. Susunod naman yung redirect para linisin yung ibang bagay na maaaring misleading galing doon sa cross-examination. Tapos mayroon na naman pagkakataon na butasin yung testimonya doon sa redirect, sa re-cross-examination. At doon na nagtatapos yung pagtatanong ng mga abogado sa bawat testigo.
Balikan natin ang tanong ng ilang netizens kung bakit dalawa silang nasa taas ng korte. Sina Presiding Officer Chis Escudero at Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian. Sir,
Noong panahon ni President Estrada, nung siya yung ini-impeach, si Senator Aquilino Pimentel ay Pangulo ng Senado at naroon din siya sa taas, kasama si Chief Justice Hilario Davide na siya namang presiding officer ng trial. So hindi ito makabago sa ating sistema.
pero sino ang mas main character?
Ang main character ay ang Senado mismo. So yung pananatili ng presiding officer doon ay batay lamang sa rules ng Senado ngayon kung saan mayroon silang kapangyarihan na maghalal ng presiding officer. Ibig sabihin nun, pwede rin nila tanggalin yung presiding officer.
Definition of terms naman tayo with Professor Paulo Tamase. Ano yung naririnig ko natin sa objection na leading question, Your Honors, please?
Objection, leading. Yung leading questions ay mga tanong na parang sinasuggest na or minumungkahi na yung gusto marinig na tanong, na sagot.
Ano naman yung speculative, Your Honors, please?
Speculative, ibig sabihin nun ay parang hypothetical yung sagot or parang masyadong madaming kuro-kuro yung sagot. Ito yung mga sagot na kailangan na parang umuhula lamang yung testigo.
Yung argumentative, Your Honor.
Yung argumentative naman na questioning, parang nakikipag-away na yung abogado sa testigo. Masyado niyang pinipilit yung testigo, no? Or naiipit yung testigo.
Sa gitna rin ng trial, nagbiruan pa ang kapwa abogadong sina Senator Judge Alan Cayetano at Presiding Officer Escudero tungkol sa marking of evidence na FFFFF, GGGGG. Ano ba yun?
FFFFFFFF dash GGGGGGGG.
That's FFFFFF to GGGGGG.
Yes. Yung exhibit numbers kasi sa korte, kadalasan, kapag ikaw yung prosecution, no, yung exhibit numbers mo ay letra na series. So, A, B, C, D, E. Pero syempre, pag naubos na yung 26 letters ng alphabet, dodoble yun. A, A, B, B, C, C. So, yung F, 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 yung siyam na F, ibig sabihin 9 times na naubos yung 26 na letra. Ganon kadami yung ebidensya. Mas madali sa depensa. Kasi sa depensa, ang normal na pagbibilang ay batay sa numero. So, exhibit 1, 2, 3, etc.
Over 18. So, kung ganyan pala ka-voluminous ang evidence, malabo raw ang 92 trial day sa kasong ito. Mark Salazar, nakatutok, 24 oras.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin kay Tony Tamase explaining po ang mga, you will be hearing these mga words, mga overruled, sustained, and he also mentioned about bakit dalawang tao sa taas ng table during the impeachment trial. Anong reason behind there? And this now klaro na po. This is part of the procedure o proseso po ng impeachment trial. Nothing is wrong there. Nothing is wrong. So, let's see what will happen. Let's see what will happen po bukas. Excited na naman tayo po. We are very eager, especially mga Filipinos dito po sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, and very specific dito sa Kota Kinabalu. Let's see what will happen tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. As what I said, and I promise that pagdating mga 1:30 bukas po, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday po, we are going live po. Mag-hook up tayo sa mga television network dyan po sa Pilipinas who is covering the event, the hearing live po. Para ang mga followers natin dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, you will be able to see live din po on yung proseso ng impeachment trial ni Inday Sara Duterte. Especially now, they're still in article of impeachment, yung grave threat po, no? Grave threat. And I hope they will, hindi yun, it will not be too long, just like what happened last week. Medyo mahaba talaga po. But let's hope and pray that it will be shortened po, no? Kung posible yan po. In fact, mga senadors po, especially si Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian, he also mentioned earlier that they will try to find ways and means po to shorten po ang cross-examination and direct examination of the witnesses po, no? Kasi it will take marami pa mga witnesses po, no? If I'm not mistaken, 62 yata yun na witnesses to be presented by the prosecution team, while another 30 witnesses scheduled to be presented by the defense team po. So roughly, baka it will be until, based on the number of witnesses, baka we are going to see this impeachment trial hanggang now is July, August, September, or even by October po, no? By October. But anyway, importante din yan po. But what is also very important, another very important thing po, again, I hope you will bear with me po, no? If everyday na lang ako, I keep on reminding ang mga Filipinos po, let us continue to shout out, no? Urge, appeal, demand ang present na government sa Pilipinas po under the leadership of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos po to resume din po ang Blue Ribbon Committee on these flood control projects po. Why? Because nakita na natin po, no? Itong si Super Typhoon Inday, what the Super Typhoon did to the Filipinos po. We could have avoided itong mga inconveniences po, no? Sa mga typhoon victims po, kung naano lang talaga yun po, walang kalukuhan yon flood control projects po dyan sa Pilipinas. No? Imagine how many millions of pesos or even billions of pesos po, no? Nawala po ang mga taxpayers' money dahil ito na po, no? Lumabas din ang sa investigation na there are senators, congressmen, top government officials, cabinet secretaries, undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, the private sector, mga contractors po, in cahoots or has something to do with this flood control project scandal. Ano ba itong flood control project scandal po? The result of this flood control project scandal, yun na po mga ghost projects po, substandard projects, flood control projects po, ghost, substandard, and ang pera po nagpunta sa mga illegal or sa mga irresponsible, greedy politicians, elected politicians natin po, and mga government officials natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dahil sa kanila po, ganito po ang buhay ng mga Filipinos ngayon po. Hindi lang ang daily lives natin po affected, no? Dahil tumaas ang mga presyo, the reputation of the Filipinos also po sa ibang parte ng mundo, sa ibang nasyon po, apektado din tayo. Kaya nga, kailangan lang po, we will continue to remind ang gobyerno that what the Filipino wants is those involved in this flood control projects will be put behind bars as soon as possible po. And lahat mga pera na nagnakaw sa atin po, mga taxpayers money, nagnakaw sa atin, itong mga irresponsible, greedy individuals, o groups of individuals po will be restituted or will be returned back to the Philippine Treasury or sa mga taxpayers po. Diba? Huwag natin kalimutan, importante na importante. Sa ngayon po, wala pa tayong news whether this Blue Ribbon Committee will resume ang investigation. The Blue Ribbon Committee investigation is now being spearheaded by newly elected chairman, si Senator Erwin Tulfo. And remember, before he was saying, kalimutan na natin yon flood control projects, let's move on. Hindi yon pwede, hindi yon, it will not happen. It will not happen po. So, with this, siguro hanggang dito na lang muna ang programa natin. I hope, maski paano, I managed to share with you mga, hindi naman lahat, siguro po, mga notisya dyan po sa Pilipinas, but only those mga importante and very, sabihin natin na interesado ang mga Filipinos, not only in the Philippines, but also Filipinos, especially the overseas Filipino workers, hindi lang sa Malaysia, but those sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo po. So with this, once again, si Nico Fabian would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day-to-day. I hope itong weekend po, na-enjoy din kayo itong weekend. And let's hope and pray na the coming week that will start on Monday or tomorrow po will be a problem-free week para sa ating lahat, para sa Pilipinas po, para sa Pilipinas. So, hidup Malaysia, sababole, mabuhay ang Pilipinas, God bless the world. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye! Ingat kayo and I love you all.